free newsletter. Now, here's what Trump is really going after. If this is a war on drug trafficking organizations and oligarchs, as Rubio says, then it is automatically a war on the global banking system because you can't separate the two. The target isn't just jungle labs and drug boats. It's the City of London. Let's remember where Venezuela is. It borders the Caribbean. What else is in the Caribbean? The origin point for the infamous system of offshore banking established directly by the British. Back in 1960, the largest banking houses in London, working in partnership with the government and the Exchequer, established 14 completely secrecy jurisdictions. These are the offshore banking centers that now hold between $50 and $75 trillion, with all 50 of the world's largest banks operating within them. These offshore centers exist outside the control of sovereign governments. They're secret, they're unregulated, and they facilitate illegal activity. What we once had, a legitimate regulated banking system, has been transformed into a criminal enterprise. And interestingly, the Russians have known this for years and have been more vociferous about it than any Western government. In a 2014 speech, Viktor Ivanov, then Russia's top drug enforcement official, laid it out clearly in a Moscow conference. He said, "This allows us to confidently assert that narco money is the foundation of the modern financial system. It is not surprising that during the first peak of the financial crisis of 2008-2009, Antonio Costa from the UN announced that the top banks in the world dumped in around $352 billion of narco dollars to use for interbank borrowing to address the critical shortage of liquidity." And he goes on to make clear that the global financial system needs drug money to survive. The very existence of the global financial bubble, he said, is based on precisely this opportunity for banks to attract liquid narco money. In fact, this garbage fertilizes the present economic system. Now, this is a good time to remember that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent recently commented that 50% of his job involves issues of national security. Now, think about it. Since we started targeting drug boats and lighting up the communications channels of the cartels and their financiers, I bet Treasury Secretary Bessent has been just as busy as Pete Hegseth. Now, Venezuela doesn't have to be a major producer of drugs. It's the facilitator for the spider web of narcotics, illegal immigration, and terrorism. And it's well known that Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Iranian Revolutionary Guard operate out of Venezuela. So think about the implications. Trump's moves on Venezuela hits at this nexus, and it effectively attacks the liquidity of the offshore banking system established by the British in the 1960s. He's cutting off the flow of fertilizer to the globalist oligarchs.